Okay, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay.
All right. Hi, I'm Sakeitha, and welcome to Camera Ready Convos. And what I am a beauty professional, hairstylist by trade, and what I am doing here is pretty much using my gifts to provide a platform for up and coming artists and creatives within the entertainment and industry, as well as trying to rebuild the morale amongst our community. We really took a hit this past year with the pandemic. A lot of people who work in this industry full time kind of really felt it. And I'm guessing, like, based on the conversations that I've had with my peers, they just really kind of feel like a lot of trepidation moving forward. And there have been situations of hope, growth, and I really just want to share those stories so we can all feel like we're in this together.
Gotcha.
And so I will give you an opportunity now to introduce yourself, share a little bit about your background and what you do, and we can keep going from
Okay, I'm Brian Robinson, creator in Baltimore, Maryland, born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. I guess I've been creating since I was a child. Always had creative ideas, enjoyed to kind of build my whole uh, environment, if you would call it that, as a kid, playing with toys and Legos and things like that to learn how to sketch images or drawings that I wanted to do.
there.
So that's always, that artistic piece has always been with me since I was a child. And currently I'm a filmmaker, educator, animator, and just, like I said, overall creator. Um, I have two products that I'm normally indulged in. That's through the filmmaking aspect of Grasshopper Films, where I do independent film, PSAs, you name it, I'll shoot it. And recently, since 2013, I've been also embodying my visual art with the Black Genius Art Show, which is a collection of original paintings and characters that I was doing in middle and high school that somehow resurfaced and helped my whole artistry as a whole. Because at one point when the industry was oversaturated with everyone getting access to cameras, the YouTube, things were streaming, information was getting out so fast, I kind of took a break as a creative. So I was this adult that had a lot of talent. And when I started seeing like that everyone was doing similar things, I kind of just took a backseat and just went to like, let me just work and just, pay bills. And I gave up on my artistry. So it was the visual aspect of me tapping back into those things I enjoyed to do when I was youth and kind of using that to brand my business and where it is now. So my motto through all of that, it was to create every day. So with that whole create every day piece, I was able to, focus on what I enjoy doing, not compare myself to others, stay true to what I was doing, and let that art live in any capacity, from the filmmaking aspect to the animation aspect to even educating, because I use my art as a tool as well. So it all kind of coincides, goes together, and it flows, because the paintbrush can be the camera, it can be the actual canvas itself, it can be crayon, it can be whatever you want it to be. It's the way you think and the way you put ideas out. And I think that's what the beauty of art is, to be able to transform environments. And I enjoy doing that through my brand and what I do. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Now I'm going to give you a backstory.
Okay.
Create every day. I actually have a button from your art show. I want to say it was 3 years ago. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I came to your show. It was my birthday. It was my 33rd birthday. And I called that my Jesus year because,
Hey. Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
I had just moved back to Baltimore and I had experienced a lot of personal loss within my life. And I was kind of like just getting back to who I was and working through that. And my best friend called me from DC and she was like, "What you doing for your birthday?" And I was like, "I'm just chilling in the house." She was like, "No, we
Mm-hmm.
going out." And I had a friend who passed away. His best friend called me and was like, "What you doing? It's your birthday. You got to turn up." I was like, "Nah, I'm just chilling in the house. It's cold. I'm an island girl. I like going to the beach. We in
Right.
Maryland. January 4th is not
Not no beach weather.
no beach. Ocean City is not gonna happen." So he says, "Oh, my homeboy is having an art show. You should go
Mm-hmm.
check it out." And I was like, all right. So I told my best friend. She was like, "Girl, I'm coming to Baltimore, but I'm gonna take that drive for you." Over. And my other friend from college, my roommate, she came as well, and we came to your show. and I think I don't remember the location.
It was on Greenmount. It was actually located in the area where you wouldn't normally see an art gallery at. It was something new.
Exactly. It was in East
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore. It was like maybe 5 minutes from where I was. And
Mm-hmm.
we went in and it was a space and it was just like real art. And
Mm-hmm.
you had a painting of a lady, and I said, this lady looked like a DMV lady.
That's funny.
Walked up to you and she was like, oh, tell us about the work or whatever. And you
Mm-hmm.
were like, mingling with everybody. And you
Mm-hmm.
said, I painted this lady because every time I went to the DMV.
That's funny. I remember her name was Keisha that works at the NBA, I believe.
Yep, at
Yep.
NBA, yep. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, didn't I say that looked like an NBA lady? I have never
Remember
seen
that
her,
conversation.
but just the essence of the photo or the
Mm-hmm.
painting. And my best friend was like, oh, girl, you guessed it. And you said, I'm going to give you a prize. And you gave me that pin that said,
That's what's up.
every day, every day.
Yeah.
The next month, I had moved to Atlanta. I've been here for about 3 years now working in film, and it's been growing. But that's the
Nice.
story. So when I was like, I'm going to start this show, I was like, I got to get
Mm-hmm.
on here. And you don't
Yeah.
even know any of this.
No, that's cool though. But see, that's my whole testimony with my art. You know, I wanted, because I was that person that, like, I was going through a lot of stuff, and I was like, I'm just tired of this art piece. So that show was actually my first time basically putting all my, that was like years of me creating music, years of me trying to figure out how I'm going to sell this stuff, years of me trying to say there's no market for this art stuff I'm doing. So that was my own testimony to others too, that kind of gave up on their ambition and their dreams and just put it to the side. And that's why I had called that event the genius under my bed, because a lot of people was
Yep.
tucking those things away and not being able to express that. And I wanted all my art to be everywhere. If I could put it on top of the roof, I would too. So that was a lot of that testimony to how that art was just everywhere, and that bed was in the middle of the floor. I was trying to show people that you can get it out there. You don't have to be an artist, like just your concepts, business ideas, I don't know, whatever. So that's why I did that show. Yep.
That's so pertinent to what's going on right now, because I feel
Mm-hmm.
people have already started, like, tucking away dreams and walking away from things because they feel
Yep.
like this is, wherever they were, this is the end. So
Mm-hmm.
being able to take a situation and create hope where it might not be any, or you don't see it really,
Right.
that is amazing. So what inspires you to keep producing and keep creating?
Mm. Um, you said keep creating art,
Yes,
or
or
just
keep
create
going,
in
just
general?
keep going in general, because I know you do a few things.
Yeah, I think what inspires me is I guess the conversations that it has, like being able to share like a piece of me with other people and seeing how it's accepted. And the funny thing about it, it doesn't have to be accepted positive or negative. It's just it's being accepted. So, and I think, well, I believe that the more I start to create, it's like it's a release from me, and I'm able to put into the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? See what it can do. So it kind of like that piece of that art or whatever I create. When I start put it out there, it kind of like it becomes its own entity. So I think the motivation piece is just to see that, wow, I haven't stopped. Like you got to, sometimes you have to keep motivating yourself. So it's like even when I would start a piece, I'll say, oh, in the morning, I can't wait to go back to finish it. So you have to keep motivating yourself to keep going. And a lot of people don't have those ambitions or don't set their own. It don't have to be the biggest goal ever. Something small as, oh, when I get in the morning, I'm going to color that picture that I did. So I think that's what keeps me going, just me challenging myself. And, I don't want to lose my gifts. You know what I'm saying? So when you stop using it, then you really can lose them, because time is not going to stand still. And guess what? You are not the only creative person, builder, grant writer. You're not the only person in the world that does that same thing. So you can sit there if you want and say, oh, I'm done with that, I'll pick back up later. And before you know it, that industry has already oversaturated that and took that and moved it somewhere else. Someone else already gotten, did that thing with it. And then you're like, oh, dang, that was my idea I once had. That was my idea. So it's like, sometimes you got to compete with your own self. You know what I'm saying? And I think you got to keep yourself going. I think that's what I do. Like I keep creating. And once I create something, oh, it's a different way or a different avenue I can go with this. And I think that's kind of how the brand grew, from me just, drawing cartoon characters and me focused on video, but then also trying to combine them together and mix them up and make a whole new recipe. So it's like, yeah. So you got to keep motivating yourself and inspiring your own self sometimes, because you'd be surprised how much talent that we all have inside of us. And it's like, if you don't experiment and put stuff out there and make mistakes and mess up, then you'll be surprised, or take those risks that you say, no, they're not going to accept it. Just put it out there anyway. Even if they don't accept it, guess what? You've already exercised that fishing rod in a sense to try to throw it out there and see what happens. So I think that's my motivation. Yeah, to always keep challenging myself.
That's cool. That's a word.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you mentioned filmmaking. Now that I did
Mm-hmm.
not know that you did. So
Yeah.
I knew,
Mm-hmm.
like, a while back you used to put these videos up of you riding through Baltimore. That's the extent of I know that you made.
Really? I know that. Well, okay. Okay.
You have filmmaking skills. So let's talk about some of the projects that you've done. Like, what stands out to you as one of your near and dear film projects, or has it not happened yet?
I think it's happened, and then pieces from that just stems into other things. This was I've been doing it for a minute. So 2005 is probably when I would consider myself like, oh, I'm a filmmaker, because it's one thing to play around with cameras, but I think that was the piece that let me know that I have something with this whole video capture images. I mean, I was given a camera when I was young from my mother for Christmas, something like that. So some old video camera that took like square tapes or something like that. So I was always that person that was like capturing family events, or documenting family events. And the funny thing about it is I documented so many, but half the time my family members didn't even see it because I didn't have access to editing equipment to edit up some cool stuff. But I had footage for days. Like I probably got tapes that people never saw. So it's like I was just sitting on a whole smorgasbord of like videos that I was capturing, but I would never consider myself a filmmaker. So as I got older, I was just trying to figure out a way to like tell stories. And I think I started using the camera and exploring the city of Baltimore with no car, just going around just capturing images of things that I felt would tell a story to people. So I would just go around with MTA buses and just capture footage, just random shots, no real storyline. And I started going to Creative Alliance, which was they had like screenwriting seminars. Like, oh, screenwriting, I like to write stories, I like to write songs and stuff. I was into poetry and songwriting too. So I was using that element to tell stories like in script format. So I would go to these salons they had where all these writers would get together, and I would just start writing down these stories and these cool concepts I had. And so, oh, I need to get me a better camera. So I started researching, getting the high end cameras, the mini DV cameras, HD cameras, and like I said, the cameras kept changing, but you had to stay up on that. So I think in 2005, I started doing like casting calls. I need actors. So I was doing a lot of research. I started writing these stories. I needed these actors to be in it. So I was doing casting calls back in 2000, I guess, 2004 and stuff. And I was a young black boy in Baltimore in my 20s, and I had actors come from New York and Philadelphia, all over the place to come to this little studio in Baltimore that was also an animation studio. So while at the animation school I was going to, I was now becoming this filmmaker. So now you're casting, doing casting calls and stuff. So I had this little idea about a love story called Passersby, about this girl and guy who was meant to be, but they keep passing each other by. Real R&B-ish, neo-soulish vibe to it. And I would do casting calls, and I was like, wow, people are really coming to see, come out to this casting call. And at that point, it was probably a handful of black filmmakers in the city, young black filmmakers. So I was in a circle of a bunch of college film majors, and I was this self-taught filmmaker trying to tell these urban stories. And yeah, that's what got me started. And I think in 2006, I premiered my first short film at the Patterson Theater, a place that got me into the whole, this is what screenwriters do. This is how you premiere stuff. And at this point, a lot of college film majors would come to this theater and share their work, share their theses films. And they were like, who is this black guy? There's one black guy in an audience of Caucasian people sharing these ideas and these films with these crazy soundtracks. Because I was doing a lot of experimental stuff. But it was that film in 2005 that when I premiered it, it like brought a tear to my eye. I was like, oh yeah, it's some passion in this in this thing called filmmaking for me. So yeah, that's how long I've been doing it. I've been doing like music videos since then, PSAs, all kind of stuff, weddings, you name it. I was just shooting stuff, just trying to tell these stories. Yep, and I developed it as Grasshopper Films, PHILMS, because back then Fat Farm was in style. So I used a lot of PHs now. That's been my thing for a while.
That's the story, the origin story of the PH.
Yeah, yep. I was that young kid trying to wear Fat Farm and stuff, and that PH was like, I would send like important emails to people and put PHs and stuff, and these people would start putting PHs back. They thought it was just different. I was like, oh. I'm dead serious, and I still do it now. Even my friends, like, when they type me stuff, they would put PHs with stuff. Like, it's just something that has been around for years. Yep.
That is hilarious. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess my next question or would be because I think you teach, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yep. Yeah, I do. I've been in the system for a long time. Yep. So I teach pre-K for the Baltimore City school system. So I've been in that element for years, and of course I moved around from office jobs to resource teacher to paraeducator for pre-K. So I've been all throughout the Baltimore City school system, and also doing art initiatives for like schools all over the city, as far as video production and arts and craft.
Awesome. So, how do you find time to
Mhm.
do
It's
all
like,
things?
time for what? I guess not worrying about it is one way I find time for it. Oh yeah, let me do that. Um, well, the funny thing about the school system piece is the way it has moved for me when because I worked in everything from the high school setting to now, elementary, pre-K. So I think what has kept me in the school system is the fact that I'm able to be around very young kids, like the pre-K kids, and there's a lot of innocence there. There's a lot of things that I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like, I'm not gonna go in there and get cursed out by anybody for the most part, but it's like that kind of kept me in the system more. 'Cause it was fun to see how these young kids would take to like that's like learn. That's when you are. That's when you become, understand what life is about as a pre-K kid. So it's like I'm like, wow, these little kids are really interesting. So that kind of kept me in the system longer. The fact that I'm with pre-K kids, it was like more so me singing songs and being this really fun person. I was able to show my personality a lot around these little kids, and also get that honest opinion from them. So that element kind of keeps that youthful spirit in me. And also I wear my art, so it's like I think what keeps me going and what keeps me like locked in with all these things moving around me is the fact that I just stay true to what I love. That's life, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm there teaching the kids, I'm having fun, I'm smiling, I'm not sad, I'm not mad that I gotta go to work, and I wear my art on my shirts and stuff. So it's like I'm always breathing this life into the environment that I'm in when I'm creating, whether I'm in the school system, educating, whether I'm going around town to different things, doing other programs. So it's like it just comes natural. And I don't even use a lot of calendars, which is a bad thing. I probably should, but that's probably why I didn't make the first meeting today. But I just go with it, and I just yeah, I don't know.
That's what's
I don't
up.
find it too hectic. Yeah.
That's cool. That's a beautiful way to look at it,
Hmm.
and it works. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it
So
all goes together.
so how do you decompress whenever you because you do a lot? How do you decompress?
And that's where it was. At one point, it was basketball. So I used to use the basketball as my way to this is like when I was doing a lot of film projects and things like that. Basketball was my like escape. So I'll be on the basketball court just playing ball or whatever. That's also how I got the nickname Grasshopper. Well, that's how the nickname stayed with me a lot.
Mm.
Um, so I would do that to like decompress. But the funny thing about it is, and a lot of my friends that know me, when I'm playing ball, I might get into the zone where I'm not really there. So they're like, "Oh, Grass, what are you doing? My nickname Grasshopper. What are you doing, man? What you doing?" And they always say I'll always play 75% of the time. And the thing about it, sometimes my mind is like, oh, I should probably be home working on this project. Oh, I'm out here way too long that I need to be out here playing ball. It's like my priorities was not basketball, but that was my way to decompress all the creative ideas and like me trying to run a business and things like that. And now the basketball piece is still there. I love that too. But now, as you can see, paintball, I go out in the woods and shoot people with paintball. So that's like another way to like decompress from like all the other fun things. Cause like my hobbies have now become my business. So it's almost like it's just flowing. So I can't say, oh, I sit around and paint to decompress, because that's like part of the process now. So it's like, that's just fueled by me. So it's like, yeah, getting out in the woods and stuff like that, decompress. It's just being around people, like happy people. That's like my way, family, and definitely family. Like that's my ways to decompress. Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. That's cool. Okay, so what is something that you like to share with other creatives, or you like to remind them to
Um,
with them?
Oh, of course, to create every day. That's been my gospel, like just to create every day. But the fun thing about it, I have a lot of creative friends that in all aspects of, music, dancing, whatever. I have a lot. And it's like sometimes because I have the shop now, like a lot of people will come through there. We just have these long conversations, and it's not even about you coming through and just buying anything or something like that. It's like sometimes you just need to be around other people with ideas. You know what I'm saying? Because you need people to bounce ideas off of. And I think as a creative, we have to share, what we have. Because at one point, I had a lot of ideas, a lot of things that I kept in the four walls in the sense of, filmmaking, video production. I didn't know how to share stuff on YouTube at one point or stream things. So, and then when I had paintings and stuff, I didn't know how to take it out in the community and share with the community and think of price points to sell and, go to galleries and stuff. So I think as a creative, we gotta learn how to share our gifts. Still protect them because they're our babies, but and don't let nobody treat your babies wrong. But you still have to, let your baby live and walk and go to school. And I think that's how, as creators, how we should treat our talents. We gotta put them around other people. You know what I'm saying? So they can also grow. And then when we do that, we learn from other people as well. So yeah, you gotta let your ideas out. Not saying go around and saying, hey, I'm ready to do this project, because you ain't supposed to share everything. But once you nurture your gift and you feel like it's a powerful gift, other people need to feel that, because I think as an artist, you have the power to shift atmospheres and change situations through what you create. And you can't do that if you you're just keeping it all to yourself.
That is true. That is
Yeah.
true. I've met a few people and their energy shifted the room, like
Yeah.
on their presence. And knowing that that's something that you can do, it makes it that much
Hmm.
more important to make sure that it's funneled in the right direction and creating a
Hmm.
change. So that's
Right.
that's what's up. So, um, we are going through a lot of these questions
Hmm.
pretty quick.
Right. To be flowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's flowing like you answering questions that I already got. Now I'm like, all right, well, that's out.
Told you, that's why I don't like reading the questions no more. Like,
Exactly.
I'm either gonna give you some weird, crazy answer, or you're gonna get something like, oh, that's awesome. So either way.
Who do you like to talk to when you need to just vent and clear your mind?
God. And I mean, I think prayer is important. So uh, that's a good question though. I mean, I think that's my foundation is right there, to keep that clarity and keep that peace. So that's important, the God element. But I guess if, other than that, I'm selective with who. It depends who it is. Like
Mhm.
I said, it's like if your gift is your baby, then you're not gonna go around with some random stranger and start venting. So you gotta be very selective. So you almost gotta fill people out to see, what their true character is. So I couldn't even give you like off the hammer talk to such and such. No, it's like, as I said, like a God piece is important because it gives you that discernment to know who you can share that gift or your ideas on when you struggle and stuff like that too. So I
Mhm.
mean, I don't have no direct names. It just depends on that person's discernment. It could be somebody in your family that you're close with, but at that time, you might not want you venting around them. You know what I'm saying? Because you might say, "Oh, they ain't gonna understand this situation." So it's
Mhm.
like I said, you just have to have that discernment to know. So I guess whoever has that spirit to listen and really, embody what you're trying to do to make it right. And other than that, you know what I'm saying? I don't know offhand.
Mhm.
I kind of answered it.
Okay. And another question that's a little bit, what makes you happy?
Hmm. What makes me happy? Ah, life makes me happy. uh, family makes me happy. Seeing other people achieve makes me happy. Um, Positivity makes me happy. Understanding makes me happy.
Understanding or being understood?
Ooh, being understood. Thank you for fixing that. Yeah, being understood makes me happy. Ooh, that's a good one. So Nina Simone lyric when she was like, "Please don't make me be misunderstood." Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, that kind of stuff. Being able to relate despite your do you know your demographic or where you might be from? Just that being able to relate to, like, even like other cultures or other people's background. Like, you can have a horrible background. I can have I'm the perfect person type of background, but it's like just being able to relate on different levels makes me happy, because I think that's what creates growth and peace. Because you don't have to be the same person, you have to be in the same circles, but if you're able to understand someone and see where they're coming from, yeah, that kind of stuff makes me happy. Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Sunlight makes me happy.
sunlight.
Rain, rain also makes me happy. I can go.
And
It's
it
a
really,
whole bunch
really
of
does
stuff.
make people happy. And I'm going to tell you
Sweet
why.
potato pie. Sweet potato pie makes me happy. It does. Seeing people enjoy life makes me happy.
That's what's up. So, you have a
Yeah.
lot of things that make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. So, Baltimore, what are some of the things that you would tell people? Like, when you come here, this is what you got to do. Top three.
You got to go to the hood when you come to Baltimore. This is any city though. You know what I'm saying? Because some cities get bad reputations, and every city has a hood or a spot. You like, don't go there. And this one comes to that being understood. If I was telling somebody to come to Baltimore, I would say don't go to the harbor. Like, don't go to the tourist attraction. Like, you almost got to go find some inner city event that not too people know about, some little hole in the ball spot. Because I think that's where you're gonna feel the real beat of Baltimore. I feel that real culture. And what's funny is from that you're gonna be somebody that's been in all kind of circles. Like, oh yeah, yeah. So if I was, yeah, I would tell somebody, go find some spot, some in the hood spot you wouldn't even recommend to anybody. Just find that culture piece inside that's not a tourist attraction. So find somebody that's not the tourist attraction. Then you're gonna figure out what that real Baltimore beat is. Yeah, because from that's where everything else branches out from. You know what I'm saying? That real grit of the city. Like, I'm big on alleyways. I'm big on row homes, stuff like that. And I know that's the heart of Baltimore. Everything else is just branches that make it even more beautiful. But I'm big on that real in the city. Now, you don't gotta say the hood, but you know that real. Like, I came up on alleys over East Baltimore, and I didn't know what grass was. I half knew what trees was. I didn't know how to climb up, but it's like, yeah, that whole marble step concrete is how I grew up. But it's so much beauty there though, that people don't know about. But they'll have you think this the inner harbor and Fells Point and stuff like that. You gotta go a little bit further into the real heartbeat of the city,
Mm-hmm.
like the Lexington markets and stuff like that. Stuff you're like, who are these people? But when you talk to them, you're gonna find so much culture and so much, truth in them.
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll help you navigate through the other parts of the city even more, because now you're like, oh, hold on, you know what I'm saying? So you get that cheat sheet. Yeah, that's what I like. And that's when, even when I travel and go to other spots, like, I want to go to those kind of spots too, because it helps you know, oh, okay. And I ain't saying go into no gang member house, but I'm just saying it just gives you a little bit more of like, oh yeah, it's two sides to every story.
Yeah, get the heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what do you have coming up on the horizon, or anything that you want to share with the populace? What's next for the Black Genius artist?
Oh, let's see. Well, I know I'm excited because I got this weird excitement going on. It's like people are more excited about it than me, but I'm excited. I'm showing it differently. Like, I have this partnership with the Vans shoes, so that's cool because I've been wearing Vans for a long time to the point where it makes up my uniform. But recently, Vans was looking out to different businesses that were affected by the COVID, and of course, my business was. And they reached out to me. I submitted some videos and cool write-ups about what my business was, what my mission was, and they partnered with me and gave me the opportunity to design a shoe for them and using my art. So I did that a couple weeks ago, and it goes live on 4/20. So I didn't pick the date; they picked the date. So 4/20, the shoes go live 9 a.m. over the Pacific time, over the West Coast, and 12 noon here on this side of town, and they're going to go national. So I've created this whole design for the shoes that I'll be sharing with the 4/20 thing based off of the rhythms of Baltimore. That's my whole thing behind the shoe. So I put a lot of my art on it, and then how I felt about a young person coming up in the city. So all this is being illustrated on the shoe, and it's going to create a conversation. I'm excited for that. So that's definitely what's coming up as soon as this Tuesday. And I'm looking for just for like animated projects, because a lot of things are going to come from these characters and ideas that I have put into this art form. I'm just excited for the future, like network premieres, streaming networks, um, different action figures. All this is going to come. Facilities where I'm able to actually animate and hire people to do animation. Facility where students can come, and I can offer more personal, hands-on education through animation, creativity, and like video, film, entrepreneurship. So all this is what's on the horizon with the Black Genius Art Show.
That's awesome. Let me know when you need voiceover.
Yeah, all that too. It's like as soon as I start getting into the animation piece, I get all these. Let me know you need voiceover. Let me know you need voiceover. Let me know you need voiceover. So, yeah, I definitely got way too many characters. It's just about me being able to sit down and balance out the retail element, creating new characters, and actually having the time to actually animate the whole process and make it happen. So, yeah, it's a lot of bells and whistles that have to be placed in the right spot, but it's definitely on the horizon. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So I think we've been going for about maybe 30 minutes or so. And this has been a really cool conversation.
Mm-hmm.
This is very,
Yep.
I'm really happy that you were able to, make some time out of your schedule to make this.
Mm-hmm.
So I really want to thank you for that. Is there
Yeah.
anything you want to share as far as like inspirational parting words?
Um, what I've been able to take on recently, as far as being successful, because a lot of people define success as you gotta have X amount of money, or you gotta be on this platform or that platform. And what I recently learned is success is how you define it. You can wake up in the morning and put your shoe on and tie both shoestrings, and that's a success, because some people can't do that, or won't have the opportunity to do it in their house, get from out of a bed. So to me, I define success differently than a lot of other people. And what I've learned recently about just staying true and doing what I love doing, and just loving life and understanding other people and where they come from and all this stuff is I've learned to celebrate other people's success like it was my own success. You know what I'm saying? I learned to like congratulate them and push them on. Even through times when I'm struggling, like even though I can sit there and watch you make thousands of dollars and I just made $1. But at the same time, I'm going to push and celebrate you as if that's my own, earnings. And the funny thing about it is by doing that, it's like it opens up more doors for you, because it gives you that, I don't know. It just has. And for sometimes, I mean, you can understand people say, oh yeah, thank you. You did a good job. I'm so happy you did that. Boom. And you leave it alone. But to genuinely feel excited when someone else is achieving their goals, and it's like, well, damn, I'm over here struggling. But not giving up. It kind of gives you more motivation, because things happen in a season that is supposed to happen in. And I've heard some artists that was in their 60s that just did an album, but when they did it, guess what? It had so much power, it had so much conviction, and they were able to get that out. And that is a success, because they probably waited and seen so many other artists become successful, make it to the top, and probably fall back down again too. But at the same time, it just wasn't their time. But in my eyes, that's what I've learned to do recently, is to celebrate everything. Not that I haven't been, but I just wasn't aware of how people can be successful all around you. And then you're like, oh, I see it. Because Instagram and the internet allows you to see so much more than you used to see. You know what I'm saying? You had to watch the news or something. Now you can see everything. And even people who lying and faking stuff, they're going to post up anyway. But just, celebrate anybody's success, because at the end of the day, that piece of success that they're putting out there and trying to share is something that's making them happy, or making them, getting them out of a different situation. So don't knock it and drag it down, because when you do it, why would you want somebody to do it to yourself? So it's like, and it takes away your power and your, your sincereness in what you do. So
Okay,
yep.
sounds good. All right. Well, thank you again for
Uh,
this.
thank you for having me.
And I definitely need to stop in because I've been IG stalking some things that I like. So when I come back to Baltimore, I
Yeah.
think I'll be there.
Or right. Or when I come to Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Well, yeah,
sure. Right. Whichever
all
one
things
happens first.
connected, right?
Yeah, yeah. Whenever we connect, you gotta be coming somewhere. It could be when it comes to you.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I would love a pair of your shoes. Guess what? You can get them right now on the internet. So it's like, yeah.
yes, 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 blessings.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and end us out. And thank you. I can
Yeah,
wait
thank you so much.
how this is this has really been good. I'm excited.
Thanks.
All right.
I'm excited. I don't know why I'm excited. I'm just gonna be excited. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That works.
Yeah, and let me know if you need anything, like you need anything on my end, like as far as your projects and stuff. Let me know.
Will do. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Have a good one.
You too. Enjoy your evening and week.